What is going on, my Atomic Autoworks friends? Guess what? As you know, if you've seen our earlier posts, we are back on the 1984 Hurst Oldsmobile G-Body. Hopefully we're in the home stretch. We got to get the body work done, interior back in it, throwing it back together. We don't have to do any mechanical work because this gentleman is a mechanic, and he did all the work himself. We had a little hiatus. Congratulations, Johnny, because you got married. So everything goes on hold when you have a new wife coming into the picture. So we're back, we're on it. Hopefully he's great after his wedding and vacation and all that. Now we're back on the car and we can't wait to get it done. If you watched our previous videos in the playlist on YouTube, then you would see that we went through and fixed a few things on here. We really kind of had to start the car off in a place where we knew what we were starting with. And that's one of the problems a lot of people have when they go to a shop. A lot of people will go to a shop, they're not happy with the progress, go to the next shop and the next shop and say, hey, listen, we need to completely start over because we don't know what they did. And then that shop gets involved in it, and then customer gets upset, pulls it to another shop, and that other shop says, hey, we don't know what they did under here. We got to go through it. It's true. It's how it is. And with us, luckily, it was fairly stripped down. We got it completely stripped down, and we showed you guys all the little holes and rust stuff, and nothing major. It's a very clean, nice car, and actually seems like a lot of the damage that was done to this car was actually done at the shop where it sat for 10 years previously because they put stuff all over it. So this car is riddled with dents. It actually has a tin canning, which we have to shrink on the roof. So what we're doing now, and I'm going to show you, is we had stripped the car completely down to bare metal, went right into an epoxy primer. This is the Glazerith epoxy primer, which I really do like this primer. You hear people complain all the time that epoxies don't sand. Well, this stuff does sand. So you could sand it fairly easily. You could put your body filler on it. It's a rust inhibitor and an adhesion promoter. So you're putting your body filler onto something that sticks better to metal and is less corrosive, which is great. So that's what we're doing. And what we're doing now is, now that it's epoxy, we're taking our linear long blocks and we're block sanding it. And with a hard block, it's going to show us every single wave, ding, dent on this vehicle. We're going to fix everything we can. And then it's going to go into Evercoat 4-to-1 Super Build Primer, which is kind of our new favorite thing. We've been having great success with it, and it's almost like a spray filler. So previously, you'd always hear me say when we body work something, I always like to body work it and leave a really thin, very thin layer of body filler on the car, translucent, so you could like see through it, but you know it's there. And that actually ensures that the whole panel is super straight, which is a great way to do it. But if you're using the 4-to-1, that's basically like a spray filler. It's so thick, and it is a polyester, so it goes on and covers nice. But what's nice is instead of you squeegeing this filler on and then sanding it and doing all this stuff, you actually spray it on. So it's a lot quicker, so it does save your customers a lot. And in today's economy and market, it's all about trying to save a buck. So what we're going to do is block sand this, get everything to the point where any dings or dents are filled and hammered and dollied and body worked. If there's a slow wave, like almost a minuscule wave that we normally would have filled, we're not going to fill that. We're going to do the super build on it, and then we're going to block sand that right out. Once that's completely blocked out, we're going to do our final prime with a regular 2K high build primer. We're going to block that out, and then it'll be ready to go to paint, which is going to be great. We hope you stay tuned and watch our playlist for this car because we're really excited about it. And I want to take you over and show you some of the sanding that we did so you can kind of see it. You can see here what we ended up doing is we took our linear blocks. These are the hard Lexan blocks. People who watch our videos a lot, I'm sorry to repeat ourselves, but a lot of our videos are watched by new viewers, so we have to recap things. By going over this with a very hard block, what it ends up doing is it skims across the top surfaces and cuts it and levels it. So if you imagine each layer you cut and level, and as you get to certain layers that are too high or too low, the higher spots actually will show the color underneath it first. And then obviously the lower spots will never show it. So what went through here is Lewis actually blocked this out, found some low spots that were very subtle because we hammered and dollied them, tried to get them really close, and then went through and put a little bit of body filler on there. So we're going to sand those areas here. But you can see, even though these are high spots, well, this one's a little too high. This one here, we got to fix that one. But this one here is very mild. Like most people wouldn't even fix this stuff. So what we're aiming to do is take these areas. We're going to put our 4-to-1 Evercoat Super Build on here. Put three coats of it on here. Might be a little overkill for this because it's really not that bad, but then we're gonna block this down. We're gonna sharpen up any single body lines that we have here to make sure everything's crisp and nice. And then from there, like I said, we sand that down, we go to high build primer, and then we should be ready for a sealer or paint at that point. So this is kind of the new process. Now, one of the reasons we're getting like heavily into DIY stuff is I can't help but feel that with the current inflation and the price and overhead it costs to build a car, people are going to have to start doing this again on their own in their on projects at their houses and really get into it and enjoy it, because sending cars to shops right now for the average Joe for a while isn't going to be feasible just because it's so expensive. You know, we say like up here in the Northeast, the average restoration, like a rotisserie restoration or full custom build, could run you, start off at around 150 grand and go up. 2, 3, 4, 500 grand. That's pretty common price to have a rotisserie restoration or a full custom one-off build. Some exceed that, far exceed that. If you're looking for something nice and decent, I would plan on saying around a 250 to 350 range. Currently, it's 2025, is probably where you would be to have a really nice car. It's a lot of money. So if you could do this at home, do it yourself, be a little bit more cautious of the materials and products you're buying, and not have to learn the mistakes. It's very hard to spend $140 on a gallon of body filler and then find out you don't like it and have to buy another gallon for $100 and then discard that. Same thing with paint. You know, some of the paints that we use, like the higher end, nicer paints, could cost you, you know, upwards of, by the time you buy sealer, primer, epoxies, base coat, clear coat, you could be $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 for a decent paint line. Or if you're looking at higher end paints, you start getting to like some of the PPG Vibrance lines and all that stuff. Just a base coat to do a full car and jam it could cost you $8,500 wholesale just for the base coat. It's a very expensive lesson you will learn if you try by trial and error, and that's why we want to help you go through it. And also, while we're helping you, we're finishing up a couple jobs here so we can build our own stuff. We are desperate to start building our own vehicles, have some cool stuff, and go out to shows and talk to people, go to events, and just have some fun, because we love this business, we love the people in it, and it's just really been difficult the past few years because it seems ever since COVID, with the inflated prices of everything, and the fact that a lot of people aren't making the money that needs to balance off this, and people still want it, a lot of people are angry because they're like, I see it, I want it. I do the same thing. I'm like, I want to build some of the dream vehicles I've always wanted to build. But when I look at the numbers, people think because you do it for yourself, it's going to be cheaper. But when you're actually operating a shop, you still have to pay the overhead to keep everything going to do it. So it's no different. And it's a lot of money. So I equally get frustrated, as many people do. And that's why I say, if you are at home and you take this step by step and do this, we're going to show you how to step by step do it. Put it in a safe position. We'll get this thing in primer. You can put it away in the closet for, you know, a few years until you're ready to move back on. And when you're ready to move back on, it's exactly where you left it, in the same exact condition. We're not going to put stuff on top of things, because we see when people put stuff on cars and use them as storage, this is the stuff that happens. All these little dings, dents, and stuff like that. But if you put them away safely, when you go to get back on them, they're in a great position, ready to go, and then you could just move forward in your projects. We're almost stepping back in society. And I also want to show you some of the stuff that we have to go through on one of the other vehicles. I know it's not the G body, but I want to show you some stuff that we have to deal with, and then you can understand why things are changing and things are different. Now, another reason why we're really pushing for the DIY and trying to help you guys do things is because we feel that if you want something nice, you're gonna have to be patient, and doing it yourself might help you with a little patience. And then even the people that decide to go to shops might eventually feel, hey, I understand what they're going through, because things aren't like they used to be. And on other videos, you heard me say things like, if you're going to pick a vehicle to do, pick something, I won't say cookie cutter, but something more popular, like a Camaro, like a Chevelle, like the G-bodies, things that you could actually get parts for. G-bodies, some stuff's a little tough, but we do have some places that specialize in parts for them. So stuff is available, but the more popular they get and the more people are doing them, hopefully more people will be able to manufacture more products for them. And things like that really help you, because when things are available, you can continue on your project and get it done. When you run into vehicles like this, where they're totally a unique year and you really can't get stuff for it, it becomes a challenge, and sometimes it makes it a lot less enjoyable. Hold on, Lewis is coming by with the motorcycle. So when you're able to get parts for it, you can just keep going on your project and get it done. And it's very enjoyable and it's very rewarding because you see progression and you get rid of some of the frustration. If you're a patient person and you want something original and something different and unique, you know, like a 59 Mercury Monterey, it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge because not only is it harder to get parts for, well, it only is because it's hard to get parts for, and it takes you a lot longer to get the parts and searching and finding, and then you find stuff like this. So this car here, when it came in, it has a very teal, blue, green, everything in it, very bluey teal throughout everything. And we went to go try to find materials, and there's a lot less color options available, and the stuff that we were finding was very green. And one of the problems is the customer said she does not want green. She doesn't like green, ick, ick, ick. Here's the green carpet. So we ended up going through trying to find stuff unsuccessfully. She inadvertently called up one of our suppliers, which we'd already talked to. Then they said the color chart is actually on their website, whatever colors they have on the website, which was one of these. And that's exactly what she said she didn't want. So she had called up and said they have the exact stuff for it and they're going to ship it. She'll order it and have it sent here, bada boom, right? So you kind of feel bad because you're like, you've been in this business for over 30 years. The same supplier is now telling your customer that they have something they told us they didn't have, but it turns out they didn't have it. And so they did ship this carpet to us, which is green. And she's like, I don't even care. Just put it in, just do it. And to me, it's sad because I like to do things for a reason, not just to rush through it so you can drive your car around to a few shows, but so that your car stands the test of time. You do something that increases the value of it, increases the look, and looks proper and right. And that's more about what I'm involved in and I like about these things. For stuff like this, most people don't care. It tweaks me. I get very cuckoo over stuff like this. I like it the way it's supposed to be, but it's her car. And I want her to have her car, and I want her to be happy and enjoy her car. It's going to be a green interior. So we got the green carpet. We have a green seats that were put in here, which look beautiful. It's going to look really nice all together. These are things that we feel a lot of people are going to have to do it at home because to put a car in a shop like this and then have it sit while we're trying to find colors and find materials and all this extra stuff that has to be done, it's not conducive to business anymore. Business in 2025 and going on is not like it was in 1988, where things were cheaper. You could afford to have cars sitting, waiting for parts. A lot of times you didn't have to because all these parts were actually readily available back then. And it was a lot easier because there was a plethora of places that have parts for all different vehicles. And there was a lot less types of vehicles. So there's a lot of different factors to factor in why things are changing, but it's getting difficult now to have, because your space, your taxes, your buildings, all this stuff is very expensive, and to have vehicles that sit there you're not getting paid on. We don't get paid on it. We're not making any money. The customers are upset because their cars are sitting, and it's kind of a hard balance, and we get it all the time. For years, everybody always complains because we take too long. Well, we take too long because we do things right, and I'm not going to listen to a customer whine and complain because they want to go to the local show with 5 people in it and please them when it's our reputation putting the work in. I'd rather have, like you'll see our vehicles that we do at a show, and like Rick was saying, he's seen a couple of the cars we did at shows, and he goes, there's always 30 people around it looking at the interior, looking at the stuff that we did. And that's what I appreciate, and that's what we do it for. We want our customers not to be like, oh, I settled for my interior. We want them to be like, I'm proud of my interior. I'm proud of my car. I'm proud of what I have. So that's why we are going DIY on steroids, and you're going to see us really pushing to help you guys build your own stuff and learn so you know what to do if you're not going to build it and you're sending it to a shop or sending it to some backyard guy. Thank you for watching. Please remember, like, share, follow, subscribe. He must have his earbuds in. Nope. You didn't ring the bell. Ring the bell. It's too early.